Hello, I'm Philip Stoten. I'm at Apex 2018 and I'm joined by George Babka from Yamaha. George, great to see you. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Let's start a little bit with the market. What's going on here in the US and how's Yamaha performed over the last year or so?
Actually, it's the last 5 years, Yamaha's pretty much grown like 20 or 30% a year, and it's been kind of amazing that we can kind of sustain this growth. I mean, obviously, with the supply chain, with the bigger cell phone companies actually sucking all the air out of the room, has really created a worldwide shortage for specific components and things like that. So it's kind of a challenge to say how do you continue to grow when supply issues come up. So, but it's been very heartening that we've when Yamaha stepped out from the shadow of assembly on back in 2012. It took a while for people to realize that there's a lot of machines already out there with a different name on it that were built by Yamaha, and we've gotten a lot more traction, a lot more market visibility, and a lot more opportunities to customers that, as they see that, hey, we're here to stay. So it's been a great couple of years. It's been kind of crazy, but we're trying to manage our growth. So yeah.
So looking at what customers are demanding. The interesting thing about Yamaha is you're in a lot of places on the line, and and you're going to be in some additional places. Sure. Are people looking for those holistic solutions, and what are the gaps that you need to fill?
Well, right now, Yamaha is the only company that actually, right now, has this much of a surface mount line presence. Not with machines that we're, putting our name on or OEMing, natively Yamaha machines. Pick and plays, AOI, mounter, dispenser. What am I missing? Printer, yes. And so now we're introducing solder paste inspection. Unfortunately, it's released on April 1st, so it's a little bit too early for the show. We really try to get one here for that. But we've done a lot of work over the last 10 years with machine-to-machine communication. This machine will come right into that and be able to do what we're already doing with other SPI vendors, communicating with solder paste inspection back to the printer, or correlating defects between solder paste inspection and optical inspection. So really, if you look at the whole line, other than conveyors and ovens, we have a solution for that. Now, the bigger EMS companies, they want to pick each individual component, but when you look at lines that are, like automotive lines or mid-tier contract manufacturers are looking for more of a single vendor solution. We have a lot of installations that do this, and when everything is speaking one language, it's nice. Moving forward, though, with like Industry 4.0, we already have all these pieces, right? All we have to do is say, well, what is the standard to communicate with? And we're still having some debate over that. But when that standard, we've already got the we're already talking. It's just how do we change the language a little bit to actually communicate. So it's not that far a walk to that, but what the actual final standard is really, I think most companies are taking a wait and see approach. We're not going to rush headlong into doing one development only to find out that nobody's using that standard. So.
And at the end of the day, you're not a standards company. Your job is to provide value on top of that. So whichever standard wins out, you'll manage. You'll deal. Exactly. You'll deal with that, and that's the important thing. How do you manage the? You mentioned there, I think, something that's really interesting. You've got a kind of holistic approach for some companies, and then you've got a pick this one and a pick and mix approach, if you like, for the others. Mm-hmm. So you've got to be an SPI provider, but you've got to also be an SPI integrator for other SPIs. Yes. So I guess you're gaining domain knowledge in that area, but you're still working with other vendors.
Right. I think if you look at Yamaha 10 years ago, we were like, everything we make, we don't need help from anybody else. We communicate with ourselves. Well, Fuji had the same situation. Panasonic had the same situation. We realized that the world is integrated, right? And we have to communicate. So, before we had a solder paste inspection, even though we have a lot of customers already have something else. Having that connectivity gives us the opportunity to get into some, customers where if we didn't have a solution, we wouldn't. Right now, it's a demand-driven process. Someone says, I need to talk with this software company or this machine, and it only takes 2 weeks of engineering time to do. But then to schedule that software, that's where you get into the situation when it's actually available. So we've been very good at kind of doing this piece by piece. When Industry 4.0 is actually fully realized, then it's something that's much easier to say, well, now anybody can talk to any machine. And so realistically, the days of big companies buying one product line, or one vendor across the entire value chain or whatever, it's a lot more difficult to do. And so it's a great opportunity for us to actually get exposure in other places as well.
Yeah, and it's important to have that domain knowledge, be best in class, but also have that integrated solution.
Sure.
So
Yes.
good stuff. Well,
Okay.
Thanks very much for stopping by, George.
Thanks.
Always a pleasure to chat.
Thanks.
Thank you.